903 Reeths-Puffer Marching Band was #1 in the state this past year, and they have a documentary coming out. Yeah, we got a woo from Sam off in the distance over there. They have a documentary coming all about how they were able to get there. Watch.
You need to go as far as you can. In life, if you're going to go after something, you got to want it. Bands or playing an instrument, singing, it's one of the few things in life that actually tells you need to be perfect.
I'm getting chills again. When the flag goes and you take those first steps and the drums start going and the audience start cheering, it is an adrenaline high.
In the last 20 years, we've either been first or second in the state every year.
Two things, it's attitude and it's effort. Now, I need you to go farther.
But these kids are here because they want to be here to put in the long hours.
You know, did we win a trophy? Did we da-da-da-da-da? Did you go out, do your best? Did you have fun? You know, that's what I want them to take away from it.
You got to want it. Whose time is it?
My time!
Using the adrenaline, using that energy in a positive and focused way to just be at your A game, there's nothing quite like it.
The students that participate in marching band historically have been top-notch kids.
Be seen! Be heard! It's time for you to believe and to know that you belong.
If that doesn't get you excited for marching band, I don't know what will. Joining us now in studio is band director Sean Harris, drum major Amani Starr, and Jordy
Camilleri.
There we go. Australian guy in the house, so we had to learn how to pronounce it. You were also heavily involved in the filmmaking process here. Thank you guys so much for being here in studio with us. We really appreciate your time. You guys were so successful this past season, right? And what better way to honor that with this documentary? Seeing that trailer and then having this documentary coming out this week, can you kind of put into words watching that back and seeing all the hard work you guys put in? What does that feel to you? What does that mean to you?
Still gives me goosebumps and chills thinking about the excitement of a typical season. And that's, the documentary follows us over last season, but this is consistency. This is something that's happened for decades for our program.
Yeah.
The students consistently work very hard. I was approached last summer about the possibility of documenting this and throughout our season, and I've seen it done with basketball teams and football teams, but competitive marching band, that idea really intrigued me, and I was all for it.
Yeah, how much access are we getting here? Are we going to get to see a lot of behind the scenes? Are we going to see rehearsal? Are we going to see maybe summer band camp? What are we seeing here?
For sure. Normally, people see the marching band at Friday night football games or at the occasional competition if they're really into that. But this gives you an inside look on rehearsals and interviews with alumni and what impact it's made on their lives, like past graduating high school. There's some student interviews where kids can talk about what they feel and how rehearsals are for them and what performances are like. It really gives you the ins and outs of what it takes to be a member of a group like this.
Yeah, Amani, I know that you are a student leader of the band. We've actually done interviews in the past before, last fall. Can you kind of talk about your involvement with the documentary? Were you interviewed at all, or how has that whole process been for you?
The process was like really kind of just see what I do for the marching band, like see how much I like lead throughout, and I was really like me on the podium, he would record and then see what I'm doing up there. And then whenever a director would say, Amani, go do this for the band, like lead, say box 1A, like the exercise that we do. And then Jordy would just record that and see like the access that I have like to the band.
Yeah, and I know you were probably being filmed throughout the entire marching band season. Is it really cool to see this all come together and see all of the hard work? And if so, how does that feel to you?
I think it's really cool. Like, it's just a whole big thing and like a lot of recognition. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely, and you guys deserve it because you guys really brought home the title this past season, you know, with the state champion. I think that is so cool. Jordy, you were heavily involved in the making of this. Can you talk about how difficult it is to shoot marching band like that?
Yeah, Tanner, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm from Australia, so I've never seen marching band before until moving here. And when I got there, I've done a few other documentaries for basketball teams, soccer teams, and I would say it was fairly predictable what was coming. but the marching band was so new and unfamiliar to me. Box 1A, and they would just do that over and over again, and they were getting the minute movements down like to a T. And then, you know, the showtime of them, you know, going through the stadiums and coming out, and they're to the second, like, having to do the right thing and plug in the right cables. It was so unpredictable and so challenging, but in a good way. And it made me like really think about how can I tell this story more effectively to show the viewer just the power and the effect that this has on kids and going into their adult lives.
Yeah, you mentioned you're from Australia. The culture obviously completely different from Australian culture versus American culture. Every high school in this country has some sort of a marching band. So we are very familiar with how band works. You probably not so. So can you kind of explain how you had to get up to speed very quickly to be able to successfully shoot this documentary?
For sure, yeah. So we had a lot of conversation, Sean and I. My director at the Muskegon Area ISD, he grew up in America, and he was telling me about his experience in marching band when he was out in Denver, Colorado. And just watching a ton of YouTube on it, different movements, different colleges doing their thing. I like to watch a little bit of football now that I'm here in America, so watching halftime shows and things like that, and just seeing like it's more than just music. It is really about creating a show, and then deeper into that, it's about creating great humans to have an everlasting impact and contribution to society.
Yeah, Amani, you guys work really, really hard. From the start of band camp, I know that you go to a separate camp, a drum major camp before this, and then throughout the entire season, you guys work so hard. You're traveling all the time to the different competitions. And there's a lot of work that gets put into that show. To see it memorialized on a documentary like that, how does that feel to you? Can you put it into words?
I mean, it feels great to be recognized like this, and all the work that we put in throughout the season just like shortened up in one video. I think it's great, and I think it just highlights many specific little things that we do throughout this entire season and all the months.
Yeah, Sean, let's talk about the alumni that are involved in this, because every band program wouldn't be anything without the alumni that came before the current band, right? Can you talk about the involvement of the alumni? I know that you guys put a call to action for some alumni to be a part of this documentary.
Yes, there are alumni every year that reach out and check in on things to see how the kids are going. They still care, even though it may have been for some decades since they were involved. And when they heard about the documentary, I mean, they were so excited as well. And my father, on a separate subject, was in the Marine Corps. And even though he retired, he's still like a Marine. And in the same fashion, these alumni still feel like they are still a member of the band. And there is monetary donations, and there are phone calls and emails consistently from alumni because they still care and are curious to know how things are going, and excited for the students when they get through a season like this past one and win a state championship.
Yeah, and so piecing that together, piecing their messages to some of the band members through this documentary, how was that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so actually on the night of the premiere this Wednesday at the Frauenthal Theatre in Muskegon, we're going to have a big mashup. I've got a ton, just like 20, 30-second clips of alumni sharing the impact that the Reeths-Puffer Marching Band had on them and how it set them up for success. And so I try to hint at that as well throughout the film in itself. We actually interviewed past band directors. We've interviewed mums and dads of the team, of the band. And so just seeing the impact that this has, not just on the student, but as a community as a whole too, is a really overarching theme of the film.
Yeah, Amani, I'm curious because this has got to be a memorable season for you, right? Can you pinpoint a couple of memories that we're going to get to see in the documentary here?
A couple of memories that I had was during the state championship when they were announcing who was first, who was second, and the singular awards, and then there was a part where we didn't get an award, and it was like, whoa, wait, what's happening? And it was just a whole lot of confusion. Well, not confusion, but a lot of feelings arising, and there's whoa, suspense and everything, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels so surreal when you're in that moment, and then probably watching it back, I'm sure, is it feels like an out-of-body experience, I would imagine. Moving forward, this is going to be a documentary that anybody at any time can come back and watch and see the success of this season, but not only that, encompassing the entire band's history as well, right? Can you talk about how, moving forward, people are going to be able to experience this for years to come, but also this has got to probably help recruiting in the band as well.
It should, because again, most folks, they'll see the band on a typical Friday night, and otherwise, if they have a sibling or a friend that might be involved in marching band, they might go to a competition, but they have no idea how you get from point A to point B. And although it's exciting and nice to win a medal, to win a trophy, it's cool to kind of see how they get to that point. This documentary will show bits and pieces of rehearsals and what the kids are being asked to do on any given day at a practice to hone their craft and develop skills. These students, they're teachers among themselves as well. There are many opportunities in an organization like this for the students to step forward and act as a part of the staff. Like I have a student leadership team that at times is asked to pull kids aside and do some teaching and things. So I'm excited for the fact that this documentary will show those aspects of it and possibly bring in some students that may be a little on the edge of, is this something that I should do? They're going to, if they have the opportunity to grab the wheel and make it their own, maybe that talks a kid into taking a chance and saying, well, I would love to be a part of that because I can make something happen there. Like I'm actively participating and making sure that everyone around me is great, and at the same time, these things about me are great.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordy, I want to ask you, again, back to the theme that you are not from here, you had to learn a lot of stuff. How was it to be able to capture something that you're, one, unfamiliar with, but two, having to paint that story must have been difficult for you. Can you talk about just trying to capture all of that and also conveying this message about this championship band?
For sure, yeah. The story itself wasn't difficult to tell in terms of the story was there. You saw the hard work these kids were putting in. We saw the hard work that Sean and his team were putting in. It was a matter of just being at the right place at the right time, getting the right shots right, and then, just following them and letting them do their thing. Less is more sometimes, and so the less I was having interactions, trying to stage things, the more of a story was being told, right? So I just let them do their thing, and I did my thing, just being a fly on the wall. You'll see in the film, there's moments before some of the showcases that I'm there with the camera just like at hip level, just filming Sean give his pre-game speech type thing, and the students and the band parents, some are crying, some are smiling, some are laughing. Like it's so emotional in the sense it feels like you're right there in the moment. And that's kind of what I try to do with all of my work, is just tell authentic stories. That it's not staged or anything like that, because this is truly an impactful story that needs to be told. And it really shows the power of public education.
Yeah, I really think that some people, they just watch the band go out there on the field, they do their thing, they don't recognize some of the hard work that goes into it before, sometimes even football practices start, The band works very, very hard. Have you guys seen the documentary?
I have seen bits and pieces.
Okay.
I have not seen the whole thing, and I'm excited because of that fact to get to watch it with everybody else and take it in alongside everybody else.
Yeah, but what the pieces that you have seen, describe it. Is it great?
It's great.
Yeah.
it's really cool, and I'm so excited for people to get to see the inside of the vehicle, see how the engine runs, and that to me is going to be really exciting for me, because it's just opportunities that people don't know about, and they don't get a chance to see that part of what happens during the season to make the magic happen.
Yeah, it's something that I'm excited to see because, I was in marching band for years and years. I did high school and college band. So getting to see another band, not only that, but also the behind the scenes work that I'll be like, oh, that's a little nostalgic for me, Getting to capture all of that right there in that one documentary. So if there's one thing that you want people to take away from the documentary, what would it be?
Oh, that in this particular journey, the staff are really just tour guides. Like I would say 95 at least % of the work is what the students do.
Yeah.
And because they have so much ownership over the activity, that makes the performances so much more magical and meaningful to both the staff, the adults, the parents, and the students.
Yeah, Amani, what about you? You put a lot of leadership work into this, a lot of hard work into this to help lead your fellow band members. What do you hope people take away from the documentary?
I hope people take away that marching band is really authentic and genuine and like kind of activity, and many people come in as a community and they all support each other, and it's just a big group of people that just all like love and support each other no matter like what they're going through, and we all just stick together.
Yeah, Jordy, what about you? I know you're the outsider looking in, but I mean, I feel like you're kind of an insider after you produce something like this.
For sure, yeah. For me, I want people to watch the film and see that this is more than just a class at school. Like, this is truly setting kids up for success, helping them become like just really, really good people of society that will give back and give them skills that you don't learn anywhere else but out there on the football field as they're playing their instruments or being a drum major. And just, yeah, the skills and the things that they learn, that's what I hope people will take away, that it's more than just music. It's about relationship, it's about community, and it's about like lifelong lessons.
Absolutely. Well said there. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. I want to mention that the premiere is this Wednesday at 7 at the Frauenthal Theater there in Muskegon. Very excited for you guys. Congratulations on a great season, and congratulations on the premiere.
Thank you.
Very cool.